Hello, Mount San Antonio College students. My name is Andrew Pond, and I am a professional actor from Chicago. I am going to be here today talking to you about how to differentiate very quickly between different characters when you're telling a story. And I'm going to try to keep this as short as humanly possible because, as I'm sure Professor Cummings has probably told you prior to showing you this video, I can go off on tangents and ramble and be otherwise very difficult to follow. So I'm going to try instead to keep this short, contained, and as concise as humanly possible. What I'm going to be talking to you about today is two basic ways, the two main ways as far as I have found and what I utilize in my own work as to how to differentiate between different characters when you're the only person on stage telling a story. And that is both through vocal differences and physical differences. And there are several different ways that you can change your voice in order to show that you are utilizing a different character. The easiest thing to do is that as the narrator of the story, whatever the main section of the story is to use your own voice. Because it's going to be the easiest for you to maintain for an extended period of time. And then you will simply, from that base level, move in different directions to show different characterizations. So the main thing is pitch. Pitch is a big thing, and what I like to use more so than volume to show emotion, because you can do more with the pitch of your voice than really you can with the volume of your voice. Although volume is very important, and I'm going to get to that in just a couple of seconds. And I've already gone off on a tangent. There you go. Anyway, so the pitch of the voice is basically the higher and lower are the two major concepts of pitch. And I'm talking in very broad strokes at this particular point. None of this is going to be particularly fine-tuned or nuanced. I'm shooting for mostly very broad, easy, quick kind of shifts. One of the main things that you can use pitch to show the difference between is gender. Ladies, lowering your voice makes you sound more masculine. Gentlemen, raising the pitch of your voice makes you sound more feminine. Obviously, if you go too far in either direction, it's comical and not particularly realistic. So, guys, you don't always want to be up here talking like this in your falsetto if you're talking for a female character. Unless, of course, it happens to be Minnie Mouse, or actually Mickey Mouse. Forget that example. And ladies, you don't necessarily have to talk down here all the time if you want to sound like a male character. It's a small change. I do a lot of audiobook narration, and I shift between male and female characters. And usually what I do is I just soften and slightly raise the pitch of my voice when I'm doing a female character. Ladies, all you have to do is maybe drop a couple of tones and actually use less differentiation in your pitch. So instead of being up and down, if you stay kind of monotone like this, even if you're up here and you've dropped a little bit from your normal speaking voice, it'll sound a little more masculine. So pitch is a big one. Speed, rate of speech is also something that's going to help you, because you can change very quickly between different types of characters just by how quickly they talk. Excited characters can talk very quickly like this. More thoughtful characters or older characters may talk a little more slowly like that. One thing that you can also think of, and here we go off on the tangent, I'm circling back to what I was talking about with pitch a little bit earlier, is it's not just whether it's higher or lower. There's also, you can put tones along with that, because you can not only go high, but if you go nasal like this, a little bit like this over here, then that's an entirely different person than someone who just talks up like this. This could be a small child. This could be a guy who wants $20 to tell you where that small child is being held. Same thing with going more guttural. You can go low and be like, hello, how are you? Or you can go, hello, how are you doing? Whereas this is down here might be someone who's kind of smooth and suave and debonair. This guy over here is probably trying to tell you that you need to put new brakes on your car when all you needed was a new headlight. Then there's volume. Americans have a tendency to use volume to show every kind of emotion under the sun. If we're happy, we're loud. If we're sad, we're loud. If we're excited, we're loud. You can use it. I use it as sparingly as possible. I like actually dropping the volume to get people more interested, and that works depending on the kind of story you're telling. Scary stories are obviously, people use that trope of becoming very quiet when something exciting is going to happen a lot. So that's pitch, speed, volume. Those are all very important. You can also utilize accents if you happen to be any good at them, or even if you're not, because that definitely helps set up different types of characters. And again, plays into, a lot of this is just about playing into the audience's inborn expectation, assumptions, and in a lot of ways biases about certain types and groups of people. For example, if all of a sudden you start talking like this, there's a whole lot of different assumptions about that particular sound that your audience has. Same thing if all of a sudden you start talking like this. You know, they have different assumptions about those two accents, and you can use those to play into that or play against it, depending on what you want to do with the story. Then there's the physicality, the physical changes that you can go through in order to do this. Posture is your biggest one. How you stand. Again, working off of a gender binary on this, men stand more square with their shoulders back, legs shoulder width apart, and they're very squared up. If you want to shift into being a female character, to soften that stance, perhaps to cock a hip, to you can't see my legs from where they are right now, but I'm beveling, because it's a fast way of doing it. Standing upright and still, confidence, authority. If you slump like this, you can be older, you can be defeated, you can be sad, and that's all the difference that you need is just, and that's a different character. What I'm going to do next is I'm actually going to show you how these things can all be put together to move seamlessly from one character into another, utilizing a couple of scenes from a one-man show that I performed a number of years ago called Side Effects May Include, where I play several different characters all at once, and I'm the only person on stage. So I'm going to get to that in just a second. So stay tuned. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Did you miss me? Of course you didn't, because of the fact that it was instantaneous, thanks to the fact that this is a video that I edited before I put it up for you guys to see. Anyway, so this particular scene right now is a scene between Phil, the main character, and his wife, Maggie. Now, Maggie has contracted early onset Parkinson's, and they're having a conversation. There's also micrographia, which is a deterioration in the handwriting, and that one she definitely got. Now, it has, I know there's not going to be any kind of telethon for bad handwriting, but it has caused some problems at work because neither she nor her partners can actually read her reports. And it has also screwed up our home communication as well. I mean, my handwriting's so bad that a little trimmer might actually improve it. But now, we leave these little notes around for each other that may as well have been written in Sanskrit. Where have you been? At the dentist? Didn't you get my note? Yes, it says that you're going to the Armenian ambassadors. Why would I go to the Armenian ambassadors? I don't know, but it says that you're going to be there until 11:30. That says 5:30, and your note says that you are fluming to the circus for beads. That says running to the store for bread. Well, I didn't know. And what's fluming? I don't know. And why would I go to a circus for beads? I don't know! So now we don't write. I'm back once again. This is a scene from the same show, but this is between Phil and his older rabbi friend, Shell, who has who does not know what's going on with his wife. They're trying to keep it a secret. And so he's approaching Phil, who is a stand-up comedian, to find out why he hasn't been at the comedy clubs. Phil, I haven't seen you around the comedy clubs like I used to. Well, Shell, home life, craziness, Yeah, but crazy's good, huh? Craziness is a gold mine, huh? Yeah, well, look, Shell, I gotta go. What's up, Phil? What? Up? Nothing. Nothing's up. Why would anything be up? Have I ever told you about the man who goes to confession and he says to the priest, "Father, I'm 84 years old, and last night I made love to 2 college co-eds, both of them, twice." And the priest says, "Well, tell me, my son, when was the last time you were in confession?" The old man says, "Never, Father, I'm Jewish." Well, the priest pauses and says, "Then what are you telling me for?" "Telling you? Hell, I'm telling everybody." See, that should be you, Phil, telling everybody, not holding it in. That could have side effects. Yeah, well, so can letting it out, Rabbi. Now, as you can see from those 2 scenes, I used a lot of the things that I was talking about. Not only postures, rate of speech, pitch. I am hoping that all of this has helped you gain a very basic understanding of how to switch very quickly between different characters. It also helps if you change your orientation, as you saw. In all of those situations, one character was looking one way, one character was looking the other way. And that helps your audience tell the difference between which character is talking when. And it's simply shifting this much. You don't have to move a lot. Anyway, I can imagine that at this particular point, Professor Cummings is doing this like, "Will you please shut up?" So I am going to say thank you very much, all of you students over there at Mount San Antonio College. And my name is Andrew Pond, and I hope you had a good time watching this video, learned something, and were entertained. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.